opening the software, enter the interface of sample parameter setting first. Set the height, diameter, weight, hammer diameter, and collection interval of the sample. Weight diameter refers to the diameter of the center rod on the pressure chamber. After setting, click Set to save. Then enter the interface for adding experiments. Select Data Acquisition Experiment. Click Create New Test Stage. Double-click the acquisition experiment in the table to enter its setting interface. No modification is required for the acquisition experiment. Just click Add to Test List. Click Go to Test to enter the data display interface. Click Control in the menu bar. Click Sensor Calibration. Select Cell Sensor from the list and input its coefficients K and B. The coefficients are pasted on the instrument. When you're done, click on Modify, and then say Yes. Click Send, and then say Yes. Select Back Sensor from the list. I put in its coefficients K and B. Click Modify, click Yes. Click the Send button, click Yes. Select Pour Sensor from the list. Enter its coefficient K and coefficient B, click Modify, click Yes, click Send, click Yes. Select Load Cell Sensor from the list. Enter his coefficients K and B and click Modify. Click Yes, click Send, click Yes. When the calibration is complete, turn off the sensor calibration screen. Stand-in triaxial experiment is selected. Click Create New Test Stage. Double-click it and enter the experiment setup screen. Select a consolidated drained experiment. Set target values for confining pressure and back pressure. Generally, confining pressure and back pressure are set to the values of confining pressure and back pressure displayed after the completion of the consolidation stage. In setting the loading speed of the axial controller, that is, the shear speed, click Next to enter the setting of the experiment stop condition. Check the maximum axial load and set it to 60 kilonewtons, which is the range of the load sensor. Check the maximum axial strain and set it to 15%. Click Add to Test List. Click on Next Stage, take it to the next level. That is to enter the consolidation drainage shear stage. Click Stop Test to stop the experiment. The experiment data is saved in the directory set in the config file. Here I set disk D, so the experimental data is saved in disk D. The extension of the data file is TGD. This file cannot be opened directly. We need to perform data conversion in the software first. TXT text format. Control, and then data conversion. Select the data file you want to convert. Click Open again. After the conversion is complete, a message indicating success will be displayed. When the conversion is complete, a new file in text format is generated. It will be saved in the same directory as the data file. We can open this text file in Excel to view the data. On the data display interface, the graph is displayed on the left and the real-time data is displayed on the right. If you need to change the x-axis and y-axis coordinates on the graph, or if you need to change the real-time data option, so click Browse Live Data Options. Modify the coordinates of the graph. Select the data you want to view. A maximum of 13 items can be selected. Finally, click OK. Click Start Test to enter the first collection experiment. Select standard centration in the list. Click Create New Test Stage. Double-click it in the table to enter the Set Experiment Settings interface. The saturation ramp test was selected. Set the target values of confining pressure and back pressure and the loading time. The back pressure is generally 5 PA less than the confining pressure. It takes at least an hour to load 100 PA. Click Next to enter the setting of experimental termination conditions. Check the maximum experimental time. Linear saturation takes at least 14 hours. Once the settings are complete, click Add to Test List. Create a standard saturation experiment. The setting page is displayed. Option B check. Set the target confining pressure. Since the confining pressure reaches 400 PA in the linear saturation phase, we set for 20 PA here. Click Next to enter the setting of the experiment stop condition. Check the maximum experimental time. This experiment doesn't take long, so we set it for 20 minutes. The maximum experimental time means that once he reaches our set time of 20 minutes, he will automatically move on to the next stage. Then a standard saturation experiment was created. Select Consolidation Experiment. Set the target value of confining pressure and back pressure. The back pressure is generally set to the value at the end of the previous stage. The confining pressure should be set higher than the back pressure. Check the axial stress and set the value of the axial stress, which is generally 5 to 10 PA larger than the dimensional pressure. Click Next to enter the setting of experimental termination conditions. Select the setting of maximum experiment time, which is generally set to be longer. Click on Next Stage. And then the second phase of the experiment, the saturation experiment. When the saturation experiment is completed, which is to reach the maximum experimental time we set, it will automatically enter the next stage of the check test. When the B-check experiment reaches the set maximum experimental time, the system will automatically enter the next stage of consolidation experiment.